In his 10-year journey on YouTube, Technoblade has changed the lives of millions. From inspiring an entire generation to raising hundreds of thousands in his fight against cancer, today we're covering it all. So join me as today we remember the legacy of Technoblade. Just under 2 years ago, I began work on a video. A telling of a story that inspired me to start YouTube. A story of a man who accomplished the seemingly impossible in Minecraft over and over and over again. The Legend of Technoblade. The success of that video changed my life. And without that video, without Technoblade, I wouldn't be where I am today. But I'm far from the only one with this story. Techno, whether he knew it or not, has changed the lives of countless people, inspiring them to find their creativity and make something truly amazing. And today, that is the story I'm going to tell. Today, I am going to finish the Legend of Technoblade. Our story continues in the aftermath of his great duel against Dream. As tens of millions watched in one of the highest stakes duels in Minecraft history, Technoblade had beaten his greatest rival. And with a final swing of the axe, his rivalry with Dream was finally over. But with the end of one era comes the beginning of another. As less than a month later, Dream invited Technoblade to the Dream SMP. As soon as he joined the server, it was clear he was different. Not an ounce of fear could be found inside him, and he swore to stand by his pursuit of anarchy at any cost. He caused chaos, destruction, captivating hundreds of thousands of live viewers. And whenever his moment came, he would always over-deliver, until he decided to retire. His work was done, the kingdom had fallen, and so he retreated far away, to live out his life in peace. But then, something happened that would change the course of the story. The previous main writer and one of Techno's best friends, Wilbur, stepped down, leaving the story to the other players to continue. And as he's done since the start of his career, when Techno faced a challenge, he charged ahead. With the help of Tommy and Dream, Techno began to write, crafting a story, even deeper and more expansive than ever before. An unlikely friendship, shocking finale, and a cliffhanger for the ages. The people loved it. The Dream SMP, after losing its main writer, was bigger than ever. But he wasn't done yet. Techno's story continued to capture the hearts of everyone who watched, his audience growing bigger and bigger with every stream. Another finale, destruction, chaos, nearly 1 million people watched live as he decimated L'Manberg again. Techno had taken over the Dream SMP. He was on top of the world, hurtling towards 10 million subscribers. Technoblade was unstoppable. But at the end of one era, a new era begins, and the next chapter of his life would present the greatest challenge of them all. A challenge far different from those that came before. A challenge that would come to represent his true strength, and show the world that Technoblade wasn't just a character, but who Alex really was. August 27th, 2 months since Technoblade's last livestream. No tweets, no updates, nothing but silence. The community missed his sarcastic jokes and shameless plugs, and so, when he uploaded an update video to his channel, everyone let out a sigh of relief, and started to watch. As the video began, everything seemed normal. It had been a long time since Techno had played Bed Wars, but other than that, nothing seemed to be wrong. Until it was. And the words that came out next sent chills down the spine of every last person who clicked on that video. Technoblade had cancer. Silence. The words hung in the air for what felt like forever. All of the adventures, years of ups and downs, were all felt with the absence of sound. The community was crushed. One of the most beloved creators in the community, an inspiration to so many, now hung in the balance of an uncertain future. But Techno wasn't ready for the grieving to begin just yet. If he'd learned anything in his 9 years on YouTube, it's that no battle is over, no fight is lost until the very end. And as far as Techno was concerned, the war had just begun. Over the next month, he strategized, preparing one final offensive, something bigger than every other battle he'd fought before. Techno would join the war on cancer. And so, he got to work, eventually coming up with a 3-fronted attack against the heartless disease. First would be the charity livestream, where he would request the help of his extremely wealthy audience by enacting the most powerful donation incentive of them all, making his life miserable. In Minecraft, of course. Second, he knew he needed to expand his army. As wealthy as his own audience was, it was a small piece of the much larger Minecraft community. And so, to increase his reach as far as possible, Techno created a fundraiser through YouTube Giving, which essentially allows any YouTuber to attach a donation button under their video for no cost or detriment to the creator. This meant, by pure pressuring other YouTubers into attaching the fundraiser to their video, the message could spread quickly, much farther than Techno could do by himself. But he wasn't done. As on the third front, he would use the second best donation incentive possible: merch. By creating merch and donating a portion of the profits to the same cancer research fund as the other two sources, he would essentially trick his audience into donating 3 times. The plan was absolutely flawless, perfectly designed to raise the most money possible, and most of all, showing that Techno was not going down without a fight. And so, with the plan in place, all he had to do was fight his own side of the war and watch the greatest, most noble battle of his career begin. The war on cancer was a roaring success. The livestream had raised over $300,000. The YouTube fundraiser stood at just over $100,000, and the merch was flying off the shelves. He had done it, brought the community together in one last uprising, and against all odds, Techno had raised over $500,000 for cancer research. But on his end of the battle, things weren't looking as good. On December 23rd, Techno uploaded another video explaining how the situation in his shoulder was not looking much better. He explained that over the past few months, he nearly needed a full right arm amputation, but after some back and forth with the doctor, settled instead on an operation that spared the arm by taking tissue from other parts of the body. And after the procedure was over, 99.9% of the cancer was gone. But 99.9 is still a far cry from 100, and the battle wasn't over yet. But there was one more thing he mentioned in that video, a goal he'd set nearly a year before, his final goal on YouTube: to reach 10 million subscribers by the end of 2021. And as of that video's release, with 8 days left in the year, Techno was still 400,000 away. It seemed like a lost cause. 400,000 subscribers in a week is unheard of. But learning from Techno, his community saw the challenge and charged ahead. They knew that Techno had been through too much, gone too far not to hit his goal. And suddenly, everyone's mission became clear. Subscribe to Technoblade. Days passed. His sub count grew faster than ever before. 300,000 away. 200,000. It was going to be close. And on December 31st, less than 24 hours before the end of the year, Technoblade passed 10 million subscribers. One last time, the community proved its power, and that Techno's never-ending bravery and dedication he'd shown every step of the way wouldn't go unrecognized. Technoblade had officially completed his last goal on YouTube. And so, the final stretch of the battle was set in motion. Over the following months, donations continued to roll in. The community continued to fight for Techno, hoping that the worst had passed, until he uploaded one more new video, starting a survival series in virtual reality. The community was relieved. It finally seemed to be over. But then, silence. A week. A month. 2 months. Nothing. Until, on June 30th, 2022, one final video was uploaded to the channel. Narrated by Technoblade's dad, in one of the bravest actions a person can take, sitting down in front of the world and confronting tragedy head on, just as his son always did. He explains that Techno has tragically passed from cancer. Silence, once again, hanging in the air for what seemed like eternity. An inspiration to tens of millions of people, one of the hardest working and talented creators on all of YouTube, was just gone. But just as Techno did all that time ago, the community refused to stay quiet. And so, together, friends, fans, and creators from all across the world paid their respects to the king of Minecraft. In its 10-year journey on YouTube, Technoblade has left a mark on this world few can claim to have made. And the legacy he left behind in everything he did, from the very beginning to the very end, will keep him alive forever. It's difficult to overstate Technoblade's impact on Hypixel. The perks and kits he created for Skywars remain some of the most important and used in the game today. The Bed Wars win streak record Techno helped set with Dephone is still unchallenged as the highest Bed Wars win streak of all time. And it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Technoblade's Skyblock videos, as well as the Great Potato War, helped the game skyrocket to the most successful in Hypixel history. And he solidified himself in Skyblock history after leading the charge as the resistance leader in the Skyblock Revolution. And finally, Techno's content on Hypixel inspired an entire generation of creators both on and outside Hypixel, as well as helping the server remain the most popular in all of Minecraft. Though he eventually decided to stop playing in the events, Techno's impact on Minecraft Championship never left. In the events he played in, he was feared by all and adored by his teammates. His charity contributions during MCC Pride streams remain some of the most impressive of any creator. and many of the records he set all that time ago stand strong today. During his time on the Dream SMP, Techno created a character that resonated with tens of millions of people. He quickly became one of the most influential players in the server's history, and left marks on every member of the server that will never be forgotten. And even when his mortality stood in question, he laughed in its face. But he also turned his condition into something much bigger than himself, taking his battle with cancer and turning it into a revolution. And through his Minecrafters vs. Cancer fundraiser, as well as his charity stream and merch campaigns, Techno has managed to raise over $500,000 for cancer research, helping millions. But on top of it all, Techno has inspired an entire generation. He took a game that he loved and turned it into something bigger. He made people laugh, told stories that brought people together, and left his mark on every creator he met and every event he was a part of. He showed how even in the darkest of times, you can still stay positive. He taught us the importance of standing up for what you believe in, even in the face of tyranny. He proved that with enough hard work and dedication, anything could be possible. And above all, he showed us the importance of loyalty and standing by the people you love till the very end. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the legacy of Technoblade.